Hello there. So Macron has managed to put the blame on one of his top spy bosses for not spotting that Putin would invade Ukraine. It seems that President Macron of France, who has probably spent more time than any other Western leader on the dog and bone to President Putin of Russia, has found someone else to blame for not spotting that the Russian leader was lying to him and was going to invade Ukraine. General Eric Vivold, the boss of the DRM, or Direction of Military Intelligence, has now stepped down with immediate effect, and he's only been in post for 7 months. But Macron has form here. Back in 2017, the head of the French armed forces, General Pierre de Ville, quit because he was unhappy with his country's defence cuts and spoke openly about his concerns, leading to a public slapdown from Macron, a slapdown that was criticised by many as juvenile authoritarianism. Now, according to reports, the removal of Eric Vivold is all about insufficient briefings and a failure to master the issues. Well, missing the massed Russian hordes at the Ukraine border, all gathering and manoeuvring into position for weeks, if not months, should have been a bit of an alarm bell. But while US and UK intelligence was warning that a definite invasion was imminent, we had Macron scurrying back and forth, engaged in diplomacy with Putin and saying it wasn't going to happen. But where did he really get that information from? From his own intelligence bosses or from Putin himself during the hours they spent on the phone together? How much of Macron's assessment of Putin coloured the French intelligence assessment? And remember, it was both Germany and France warning about the alarmist rhetoric coming out of the US and UK. But the French are now saying that they thought they were seeing the same intel picture as the UK and US were and couldn't see the cause for alarm. And if we'd had more intel, we should have shared it with them, claim the French. So it's now our fault, it seems. But it's not like the White House and Downing Street were not both telling everyone for weeks beforehand that Putin was going to invade. So maybe people should have been listening, even if the sources of the information weren't disclosed, probably for very good reason. But to be fair, there were many military pundits, some high-ranking retired military officers in the US and UK who were of the opinion Putin would not actually go for an invasion, and they made their views public. And then there's the issue of the likes of the now infamous dodgy dossier that got other nations like France embroiled in a very questionable war. Maybe those memories had a hand in shaping French intelligence assessments of the situation. Well, they will be listening now. Anyway, Macron's real beef will be that French intelligence failed, and the pesky Brexit UK was right. If it hadn't already, it must now be dawning on France, Germany and the EU that they desperately need the UK involved in the defence of Europe. So no wonder they and our Ramona fraternity are so keen for us to get entangled in their embryonic defence union setup. But looking at the way they are treating us in other spheres, especially their intention to rip up the UK via the Northern Ireland Protocol, then as far as I'm concerned, we cannot trust them and should give any sort of intelligence or wider defence union with them a very wide berth. Anyway, while the French weren't spotting the invasion of Ukraine, we in the UK are completely woke-blinded to our own problems with an invasion in which the French are heavily involved, if you get my drift.